song of our people. This is the 2024 NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series season opener. It is the Loyal NHRA Gatornationals, and it is round one, pair one, live coverage of Top Fuel Eliminator. For those of you that were not tuned in for a pre-race show, you may not know who's in the right lane. It's Tony Stewart. He has Justin Ashley on the right-hand side. Tony, we talk all the time. You can't pay attention to the guy in the other lane. If you're not paying attention to the guy in that orange drag, you might as well not bother showing up.
Tony Stewart is very well aware of that. He's already acknowledged it, but this is a driver that comes into this category with lots of experience. More importantly, lots of championship experience. That means he's been through all of these pressure cookers. This is just another, not a walk in the park, but of all the opponents that you can draw, Tony Stewart is very well aware that he has drawn arguably the toughest, the quickest reacting driver off of the starting line. A lot of times, if these cars run close to the same elapsed time, it could be determined on the starting line.
They both have to pedal. Tony Stewart's going to pedal his way to a round one. No, he's not. He is not going to get there. Justin Ashley got him 4:41.4 at 297 miles an hour. It looked as though Stewart was going to be able to catch him.
Well, you either have a feel for the car or you don't. Of course, Justin Ashley, he has lots of experience. He just put on display his ability to feel the car, to feel those tires tell him this car, this rear tire has stuck to the racetrack. The track temperature is very low. This is the most grip that they've seen all year. If they don't have the correct wheel speed, it'll stick the tire. The balance of the clutch and engine have to be very good. But take a look at something off the starting line. It was Tony Stewart getting the starting line advantage. An 0:21 reaction time is as quick as you can get. A 0:00 is a perfect reaction time. So if you want to know if Tony Stewart is up to the challenge, he answered any of those questions, and he in the other lane does the same thing. He feels the car lose traction, good throttle maintenance, and this is just something that either a driver has, you can acquire in a long amount of time, but for Tony Stewart, he just has a feel for the car because he's been in almost every type of race car there is.
For a rookie pedaling a top fueler, that is about as good as it goes. But he had a veteran pedaling a top fueler in the lane next to him. And Justin Ashley will move on to round number two. Doug Kalitta, the Mac Tools top fueler left side of your screen, will be taking on Millican. Top Fuel dragster Tony was just a couple of weeks ago. We saw the benefit of Jim Overhopper rather, now using Nicky Bonapati as his right-hand man. This car at Bradenton Motorsports Park qualified number one at that shootout race, and it looked very strong.
Well, anytime you add talent to your team, that's going to increase your depth, and it seems like it has really shown instant results with this team, and we've talked about this on the podcast. This is probably one of the most underestimated teams competitively, and Doug Kalitta knows that.
Bruno Massel is between the two fuelers.
You know, Brian, right now, it's a delicate balance. Isn't always just getting off the starting lane, but the rubber really thin this morning with the rain overnight, and through the first 100 feet, they're telling you you've got to crunch these cars to get them going. What they're saying, though, also with track specialists, the fact that the more the cars run, the more rubber will get down. You got to get past the first 100 feet we saw. It was a little shaky there in that first pair.
It is Millican off the throttle, and the champ will move on to round two, and this is what he did here last year. Throwing down 365.8, almost 338 miles an hour.
Well, Doug Kalitta, it just goes to show you he is serious about defending that championship. Pretty good off the starting line, but if you hit the setup just right, and a lot of things that factor into this are not just the change in compensating for the better air with the engine. They change the compression, the nitro percentage, but they also make adjustments to the weight distribution, the tire pressure, and that rear Goodyear slick. Whatever Alan Johnson did, he was familiar with these conditions. He knew there was a good racetrack out there, and he put all those horsepower to his full advantage.
He has just tied the track speed record to the 1,000th of a mile an hour. Let's go to Amanda Busick.
Well, you can see Justin Ashley and Tony Stewart talking about their run, and Justin just said, well, you beat me at the line, Tony, but opening up the first run of the season with the pedal fest, I'm sure that caught you by surprise.
Yeah, it's funny conditions. You know, Tony and I were just talking when the first car's out there, so you really don't know what to expect, so you kind of expect the unexpected. But listen, I hope that if we can't both go down the racetrack, we'll make it a close race through a pedal fest. I think it's a great way to kick off the season for the fans. I mean, this guy, I have so much respect for him as a businessman, as a person, as a driver. He's going to be great for the sport. Just in case that 021 wasn't indicative enough already, but for everybody at Skag Power Equipment, Toyota, Phillips, couldn't be more proud to represent all that you do and all the Skag dealers and distributors out there. Thank you guys for everything. Let's see if we can do it again.
And Tony, it was the Pedal Fest to welcome you to Nitro Racing. I'm sure that got your attention this morning.
That's all right. I got a little practice last year on the outcall car, so actually kind of looking forward to it. Just wasn't looking forward to it in E1 here. But, man, you're going up against the best of business, so in all honesty, when we saw the pairings last night, I thought there's really no pressure. I'm not supposed to beat this guy, so to beat him off the line, and he's the best in the class, I'm stoked about our weekend.
Where'd that 21 come from?
You can't give this kid anything, so, when this Dodge Direct Connection SRT car, they're ready to go.
That is the leather.